Hello students, welcome to Learners Academy. Today we'll study inorganic chemistry, and in inorganic chemistry we'll study the chapter of chemical periodicity. It is the chapter of 11th standard chemistry subject, and it is also important for the students who are preparing for any competitive exams and the students who are preparing for master cadre exams of science teacher Punjab region. So let us start the chapter. In the contents we have modern periodic law, present form of periodic tables, SPDF block elements, periodic trend in properties of elements, their atomic and ionic radii, periodic trends in ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy, and also in the valence oxidation state and chemical reactivity. So let us start the chapter. Before we study the modern periodic law, we have to know what are elements. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down into any other substance. It means element is the smallest unit. And also every element is made up of atoms. Atoms are the smallest pieces that can exist in an element. You will need to put millions of atoms together to get an element of about half millimeter in size. So an atom is the smallest unit which combine together to give element. And in atom there are electron, proton and neutron which combine together to give an atom. And for the elements we should know the structure of atom. In the given structure we have the in the center nucleus, and nucleus contains the number of protons and neutrons which vary according to the atomic number, and also the nucleus is surrounded by the electrons which moves in these different directions. Here we take the example of hydrogen and helium structure, in which we have different number of proton, neutron and electron based on the atomic number. In hydrogen we have one electron, so there is one electron present in outside the nucleus, and in the nucleus there is one proton. Similarly, in case of helium, there are two electrons, so there are two neutrons and two protons. Here, blue portion gives the proton, yellow gives the neutron, and orange represents the electron. So it's all about the element. Let's go further. And elements are of two types, that is non-metal and metals. In non-metals, most non-metals are gases at room temperature and they do not conduct electricity. For example, oxygen, hydrogen and chlorine. However, carbon and sulfur are solid at room temperature. Similarly, in case of metals, metals are shiny and conduct electricity. They are different from non-metals. For example, gold, aluminium and iron. These are shiny and they also used for the purpose of electricity. There is one metal that is liquid at room temperature, that is mercury. So these are the type of elements. Now we'll study the early attempts to classify elements. Before we study the modern periodic law, we should know how earlier scientists developed the elements on the basis of their properties. First is Proud's hypothesis. It was given in 1815. According to this theory, hydrogen atom was considered as the fundamental unit from which all other atoms were made. It is also known as unitary theory. It is known as unitary theory because the Proud has considered only hydrogen atom to find the other all atoms. So it's the Proud's hypothesis. The second we have is Daubernier's triad. It was given in 1829. Daubernierre classified that elements into groups of three elements with similar properties in such a manner that the atomic weight of middle atomic number having the element was the arithmetic mean of other two. That is, we have different elements like lithium, sodium and potassium. It is a triad given by Daubernierre, and we are having atomic weight lithium 7, sodium 23 and potassium 39. And if we take the arithmetic mean of lithium and sodium, then we'll get the atomic weight of sodium, that is 23. Similarly, we have chlorine, bromine and iodine, calcium, strontium and barium. These are the more such examples of Daubernierre triad. However, we have limitation in Daubernierre triad, that Daubernierre could not arrange all the elements known at that time into triads. He could identify only three such triads that have been mentioned because this triad method was applicable only certain elements. So it's all about the Proud's hypothesis and Daubernierre triads. Let us go further. In the further earlier attempts, we have Newland's octave. The law of octave states that when elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic masses, every eighth element has the property similar to the first, just like the musical notes. Like Sare, Gamma, Pada, Nisa, similarly we have lithium, barium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, and these properties are similar to the Their eighth respective element, that is lithium property, is similar to the sodium, barium to magnesium, boron to aluminum, and so on. So this was the Newland's octave. And we have limitations in Newland's octave also. The first is this classification was successful up to the element calcium, and after calcium this classification was not applicable. Also, when noble gases elements were discovered at later age, the inclusion to these octaves disturbed the entire arrangement because noble gas elements having the different properties. Now, the other earlier attempts was Lothar-Meyer's atomic volume curve. According to Lothar-Meyer atomic volume curve, Meyer represented the classification of element in the form of curve between atomic volume and atomic masses. And he states that the property of elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. In this curve, we have one side the atomic volume and other side the atomic mass. Here atomic volume was given by molar mass upon density, and he concluded that elements with similar properties occupy similar position in the curve. Like for example, if helium has attained the curve and the other element having the property similar to helium will also get position on the curve, that is peak in the given curve of atomic volume and atomic mass. So this was the Lothar-Meyer's atomic volume curve. The next we have is Mendeleev's periodic table. The Mendeleev's periodic table is based on Mendeleev's periodic law, which states that the physical and chemical properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic masses. And at the time of Mendeleev, there were only 63 elements were known. So he arranged these elements according to their properties of masses. Like in the given table, there are 7 horizontal rows and 8 vertical columns. That are horizontal rows are periods and vertical columns are groups. And he also added the zero group later on to modify the Mendeleev's periodic table. Some importance of Mendeleev periodic table are that it helps in study the elements, and he also left the space for the prediction of new element and their properties, which were discovered later, like gallium, germanium, for example aluminium and silicon. And he also gave the atomic mass correction of doubtful element on the basis of their expected position and properties. There were some defects in Mendeleev periodic table also, and the first was position of hydrogen. Hydrogen has been placed in group 1a, that is alkali metal, but it also resembles with halogen of group 7a. So this position in Mendeleev periodic table was controversial. Next was position of isotopes. As Mendeleev's classification is based on atomic weight, isotope would have to be placed in different positions due to their different atomic weights. That is, 3 isotopes of helium would occupy different positions. Other defect is anomalous positions of some elements. Like without any proper justification, in some cases the element with higher atomic masses precedes the element with lower atomic mass. For example, in case of aluminium having atomic weight 39.9, it precedes potassium having atomic weight 39.1. Similarly, in case of cobalt and nickel, cobalt having more atomic weight than nickel, but still it is placed before nickel in the table. Also, the position of lanthanide and actinide. Lanthanide and actinide were not placed in the mean periodic table at the time of Mendeleev's periodic table discovery. So, these are the defects in Mendeleev's periodic table. Now, we'll study the modern periodic law. So, what is modern periodic law? Modern periodic law states that the physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic function of their atomic numbers. But in Mendeleev, we have studied that physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic numbers. So the question is, why atomic number and not atomic mass? The reason is, the atomic mass is the total mass of protons and neutrons present in a nucleus of an atom, whereas atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus. Also, the number of protons in the nucleus is equal to the number of electrons present outside the nucleus. And also we know that nucleus is deep seated inside an atom, but the electron outside it, especially the ones who are in the outermost shell, are free to move around. Hence they they take part in chemical reaction. For this the reason, the property of an element depends upon the atomic number rather than atomic mass, as atomic number deal with the number of electron present in the element. So this is the reason why the atomic number was taken in place of atomic mass. Now let's study about the modern periodic table. When elements were arranged in the increasing order of atomic number, it was observed that properties of elements were repeated after certain regular intervals. And the elements who are repeating several properties after certain regular intervals, these were known as magic numbers. And this repetition of certain properties by element at the regular interval is known as periodicity. The reason of periodicity or the cause of periodicity is that in the property due to the repetition of similar electronic configuration, and similarity in electronic configuration of valence shell of element is the main cause of periodicity. And with this cause of periodicity, Moseley pointed out that atomic number is the fundamental property of element, and similar elements are repeated after regular intervals when they are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number. He also found that the atoms have same number of electrons in their valence shell, have same properties. So this was the modern periodic table. This is the modern periodic table which is in the current form we are having, in which there are 118 plus elements and there are different periods and groups, and elements are arranged according to their increasing atomic numbers. And in the below we are having lanthanide and actinide series. Let's study more about modern periodic table. The structural feature of long form or modern periodic table are that the long form of periodic table is also known as Bohr's periodic table. There are 18 groups and 7 periods in this periodic table, and the horizontal rows are called period. And in the first period we are from hydrogen to helium, only 2 elements, and similarly in the second we are having lithium to neon, and in the third we have sodium to argon. Similarly in the fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh period with the varying number of elements. Also, the 18 vertical columns are known as groups, and in the first group we are having alkalis, in the second we are having alkaline earth metals, in the 16 we are having chalcogens, 17 we are having halogens, and in 18 we are having noble gases. So these are the elements placed in the number of periods and number of columns related to their properties, related to their number of electrons present in the valence shell. So it's about the modern periodic table and their silent features. There are some anomalous behavior of the first element of a group. That is, the first element of group differs considerably from its congeners. That is, the rest of the elements of the group. The first element in the group vary from the other element in that group. That is, due to small size, high electronegativity, and non-availability of d orbital for bonding. This anomalous behavior is observed among the second row elements, that is lithium to fluorine. So it's all about the chapter which we have discussed today in the lecture. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, kindly follow us on YouTube and subscribe our channel, and you can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. You can comment in the comment section for suggestion and stay connected for further videos. Thanks.